Milton Birch wrapped the snake around his collar and knotted it under his throat, thinking it was his favorite green and tan silk tie. Milt didn't notice his mistake. He was staring at himself in the mirror, wondering why he had never made much of a difference in life. Then he sighed, went to the kitchen for his lunch, and left his apartment. The snake didn't care about any of this, not even about having his tail twisted into a Windsor knot. After being stuffed down a toilet by a disgruntled former owner, he had spent a long week hustling in the sewer. A baby alligator floating on a log, at least he hoped it was a log, told him about throwaway snakes taking over the Florida Everglades. The snake didn't know where Florida was, but it sounded nice, so he made his way up another toilet and into his present predicament. It wasn't ideal, but he was tired and the man's shirt was soft. Outside, Milt hurried towards his bus stop. An old lady he passed screamed when she noticed the snake dangling from Milt's neck. Milt didn't hear. He had been obsessing about cheating on a bio test back in college. He didn't know why he locked on to that. It wasn't like that was the only dishonest thing he had done in his past, and remembering all of those things individually made him sadder. The snake wasn't happy either. The screaming had woken him, but at least he got to see the old lady tumble backwards over a stone garbage can. On the bus, no one else screamed, or if they did, Milt didn't notice. In order to forget about accidentally keeping Mrs. Havish's change after buying her a gallon of milk when he was 10, he watched cat videos on his phone. The snake started to wonder if he could possibly swallow Milt whole. In the elevator at work, Jeff, the accountant, looked Milt's way, then wilted like a piece of limp celery. Milt missed that too. He was lost in regret about, well, all kinds of things. He examined each of those regrets carefully until he found himself at lunch staring at an empty sandwich wrapper but still feeling very hungry. The snake dozed again, thinking about how much he truly enjoyed bologna on white bread. Later, at home, Milt stared at himself in the mirror again. He couldn't remember if he had made much of a difference that day. He couldn't remember much of anything, actually. Then he stopped. "Well, I'll be damned," he said. "I'm wearing a snake for a necktie." He thought that was, indeed, rather odd. The snake was really hoping that this wasn't Florida. Milt took a selfie with his phone, and the snake faced a conundrum. He couldn't decide whether to stick his tongue out or to do the reptilian version of the duck face, so he did a blended version of both. Milt posted the photo on social media. He spent the rest of the night wringing his hands and fell asleep worried that people would misinterpret his post. The snake waited until about midnight, stole the rest of Milt's bologna, then slithered back down the toilet.